Jose, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the, the sort of the image of gambling in the UK sort of changed a lot from being a socially acceptable public pastime to there are powers that are trying to make it less so. I mean, what's the gambling situation in Portugal? I mean, do you have betting shops and things like that?
Well, you are talking about the white paper in England, and I think we don't have one yet. Um, all our structure in our ecosystem in Portugal is completely different from the UK one. So basically, the taxation is not GGR driven. So basically, what the authorities done is that they put the taxation on turnover. So the margins that the bookies apply are preposterous. You cannot bet live in Portugal. There are no prices for it. You are very far away from the lower and cheapest prices on the market. Bookies they say they will pay. They tend not to pay because they stall. They basically stall. If you have big winnings, they stall. They suspend the account. So it's basically not good over here for experienced bettors. Some brands, pre-Pinnacle, may offer some opportunities, but in general terms, we have a lot of restrictions in the markets. For instance, we do not have negative markets. What I call negative markets, I'm not sure if English is appropriated, are markets such as cards. So you cannot bet cards because that's a negative market. So something bad needs to happen, like a fall. So these kind of markets are banned from us. So it's very strange. It's possible to have some edges, especially because the bookies rely on their margins, and sometimes adverse selection allows you to get a slice, shoot something, but it's not good. But Spanish ecosystem is completely different. They have different layers, so they have a very strong soft ecosystem on the ground. The shops, they are not shops, they are mini casinos. So basically you can bet shops with much less restrictions than you have in England. And then you have second layer, the onlines, and they will allow. The problem is that you need some execution because of the scalability that you need to do in shops. And online nowadays, they are using sneaky techniques. Like if you print a lot of volume in a bookie, if you are printing volume, basically what they can do is they can close up the account because they say you're a problem gambler. So if you put a lot of turnover, they say, look, this you are probably a problem gambler. We don't want your account, and they close the account because they want to protect you. So that's a sneaky thing they're doing. They are using the law to close up the accounts, saying, okay, we are very concerned this player has made too many bets, so I think he's a problem gambler. So by law, I can close up the account.
Does the single currency and the free movement in Europe make things easier?
Oh boy. Portugal and Spain, we are very similar. So it's like there is no border. Sometimes I bring some friends from the UK and we go to Spain, and they say, are we in Spain already? And I said yes, because it's very easy. It's very common for us to go in and out. We go there and shop. They come over here and they go. There is no border. It's like the same country. Capital and money transfers are not quite the same because the banking system, if you are using or planning to use the banking system, their compliance rules are stricter and much stricter now than they were before, um, especially if you are using ecosystems that are like I don't know, Andorra, Gibraltar, those kind of niches where you have smaller taxations if the money comes from those places. The banks in Europe are not willing to accept this kind of transfers, and they are making a lot of pressure. So we have some challenges, I think. More than ever, fiat to crypto to fiat is important, and we need to prepare the structures and organizations to work with crypto to transfer the money and then to convert it the cheapest way possible to fiat. I think that's a key issue in the next few years, because I don't think banks will accept our sweated money easily in the next years.
Okay, let's just talk about you a bit. I mean, you're a very well educated man. You went to university to study economics. I mean, was gambling ever on the horizon when you decided to do that?
Uh, Good question, Simon. No, I don't think so. I gambled all my life. Another kind of gamble. I was a chess professional myself. Then I realized somewhere that were better people than me. I was good, but to be good at chess, you need a skill set, and in that skill set, there were back then some characteristics I did not possess, and so at the eye level, where the advantages are very small, I thought that I was in a disadvantage because I need a bigger killer instinct. I need other characteristics that other guys had, and I did not. And so poker came out, and I thought it was a good opportunity because chess is a game with perfect information. So all the information is over there. So probably the best guy will win because the information is there. You have your board, the pieces, the other guy's pieces, and you are seeing everything. So all the ecosystem is there. So it's a perfect information game. But when you're starting to play Texas, you have your cards, the two cards that you have, and you have the river, and then you can imagine and think what are the other guys' cards. So the game is not perfect information because you don't know what the other guys are holding, but it's a semi precise information because you have your cards and you have the river. So most of these thought process are similar, and so it's very easy for me to shift to poker. And then with some background in mathematics, econometrics, and other things, one time I saw a guy, a friend of mine, he was coming over. We were going to play a chess tournament, and he was coming and he was betting on tennis, something like that. And I saw it, and I thought this is interesting because this can be done, no sweat. I can do this and I can go and do my job. And it started a little bit like this. My nature is curious. If I don't know something, I will shut up. I will come home. I will Google, and then I will chat GPT, and I will try to understand everything about that phenomena. And when I saw my friend doing some bets, the first thing I thought was like, yeah, there are phenomena, and this is a phenomena, and I want to discover this. So that's why I started to model goals. I started by goals because I wanted to understand why. So from the first 15 minutes, no one sings a goal, and then at the 38th minute, sometimes two or three score at the same time, same minute, approximately. So that was key for me. I never thought about doing this for a living. I'm doing this for a living now, and I cannot think me doing other than this, basically.
Where did your love of statistics come from?
So, at the university, I was not the smartest guy from my class. Far from it. I was the guy that was just there for taking the I just I was in wanted to be at the military. That's what I wanted to do with my life. I was in special ops. I was as a volunteer, but my grandmother, she was very important to me, and she called me one day and she said, she called me son, and she said, "Look, son, you need to graduate at the university. I don't want." She has lost my grandmother. She has lost five brothers, and with a disease and other issues. And she said, I cannot lose another man in my family. So special ops back then were being prepared to go to Bosnia. And she said, you cannot graduate in the military, you need to graduate at the university. So I cannot lose another person. And I said, oh boy, I respected my grandmother so much, I left the military and went to the university. So at the university, I could excel. I could have been much better than I did. I was just the guy that I passed for the minimum. So if I need to make this effort to pass, I would pass, but I would not excel. This is something I regret. But the statistics professor, she made us a challenge, and she said, look, we are studying econometrics. You can create models with econometrics. You can model the behavior of anything in life. And I said, this is interesting. So if she's saying I can model and put on maths everything in life, if I want to be a model a dish, can I model a behavior, can I model? And I asked this to her, and she said yes, with the proper data you can model everything. And it's so, I tried to model things with her. I went to that class every time with a different mood, and I think that was it. I think she saved my education, because I would I would be a very frustrated person if I did not found that path inside the university. I would eventually have graduated, but with no purpose. And I think I found some purpose trying to explain things through the mathematics of it.